Before I do my intervention for paragraph 1A, I'll also like to use the same window of opportunity to express some of our reflections for over the last 2 days. My name is Precious Phiri. I'm a Zimbabwean woman, Ndebele by tribe, and I'm also representing a smallholder movement from Southern Africa. I'm here with many of my colleagues, and like many of us, have left my homestead, my farming activities, my young kids and community to come to this space to represent our different rights holders movements from where we come from. And I may add, we are also unpaid. These are my first negotiations, and I've been following the discussions over the last 2 days. And yet we as the CSIPM are now beginning to ask, why are we here? Thinking about our world in general, the multilateral system seems to be falling apart. Genocides are being declared, and the UN agencies remain hamstrung to do anything. Unilateral wars are being staged with challenges, obviously, to global trade, and the type of resilience that many of us in this room are trying to defend. Yet, the CFS hopefully and thankfully still remains a unique example across the UN, with our participation as CSIPM still guaranteed and respected, while member states take the final decisions. The CSIPM still strongly believes in its participation in this committee, which itself has advanced in the understanding of some of the most fundamental issues for food systems and the agency of those who actually produce the food, feeding our families and communities. These fundamental issues are the right to food, control and access over land and other natural resources, territorial markets, gender equality, youth, urban and peri-urban food systems, and equity. As the CSIPM, we want to move forward in these understandings, and not only as the CSIPM, but the committee as a whole. We are asking ourselves why we are here, because while it is still a top priority for us to participate in this human rights-based space, making decisions for processes which the CFS embodies, we also see that many of the learnings that we have gained as a committee over the years have sort of regressed. Those learnings are being packed, and some of them are still to be rediscussed. And as a first-timer myself in these negotiations, I got a bit shocked, but again, it's learning. And in the same sense, I feel like the learnings that we've heard over the years are sort of being unlearned. Many of these priorities for the CSIPM for this process are being parked and have surprisingly been addressed as contentious. And some of these are gender and agroecology and other innovations that have already had guidelines that have been negotiated in this space. There's concepts of trade, diversification, inclusion, participation, that also have references across different CFS products. Indigenous people's rights, specifically the lack of acknowledgement of their unique and distinct rights under the international law. That is taking us back to more than 30 years. They certainly deserve this space, and this does a disservice to both Indigenous peoples and the local communities. Sidelining of equitable transformative resilience and agency. These are core concepts of the HLPE report, and which is also the arm of the CFS that develops evidence-based recommendations. Most alarming, however, Madam Rapporteur, especially, I think as a first time on this space, is the blatant erosion of human rights consistently across the document. The CFS is a global governance space grounded in human rights, reformed to advocate to the right of food. We are, however, seeing this language slowly and mostly being removed. Safeguards are being challenged, and economic priorities are championed over people and our planet. If we can't support basic rights and in the agreed language, the universal rights, why are we even here? We've heard member states say at least twice on different topics in this same platform, we'll die before we agree to this language. There's a very ridiculous irony to this, because if we do not uphold the basic human rights, truly those on the front lines actually die. It's not theoretical. What you say in this room matters, and we as the people who represent rights holders movements are also watching. So we ask you, member states, in the days that still remain, how much will this human rights-based space and committee actually move towards an understanding of resilience for and by for the rights holders, the ones who are most affected by global shocks, and those who grow the world's most food, the very one we're discussing on this platform. And with your indulgence, I'd like to move to paragraph 1A